Hello. Says it's starting. So I am going to check. Now it says hello. Now it says we're starting. Can never tell half the time. And I just want to check with my website. Check with thing to see that it's all done. I just want to check and see that we are coming through okay. So bear with me. I know it seems to be like I'm waffling. Yeah, there we are. We're on. Right. Nice and easily checked. So what I want to do, what I want to talk to you about today is, well, welcome to Tuesday's video, Tuesday's live, Tuesday's tips, maybe Tuesday's advice, Tuesday's chat. Don't know really, but I still haven't given this a name. It's just my Tuesday live video. I still haven't given this a name yet, but welcome. I did make a bit of announcement this morning that I will be here at 2 o'clock. I'm only 5 minutes late, so not too bad. But anyway, so what are my tips today? What am I chatting about today? Today I'm chatting about networking, connections, collaborations, and social media. The number one major hang-up I seem to have with discussions with therapists at the moment is social media. Whether they're posting and posts are getting seen, so I said whether you're posting and your posts are not being seen, or it's only being, liked by 1 or 2 posts by 2 people, or whether it's don't know what to post on there, or Facebook keeps changing, can't keep up with their updates, it's forever annoying, why do I keep posting on there and nothing happens? I also get comments from therapists saying to me, I keep getting so many notifications and I just don't know what to do with it, almost like being overwhelmed with notifications. And sometimes, and I've been getting them as well, notifications that are hours, days, maybe even weeks old, and I suddenly get a notification from it that I've already dealt with it ages ago. And again, as I said, it seems to be this seems to be the major one hang up for a lot of therapy and therapy businesses. And I can totally understand, and certainly now with the direction that Facebook is making, it's not as enjoyable. And I'm the addict here. I don't find it as enjoyable as I used to. Yes, I've seen, you get about 3 posts and then it becomes a sponsored post, and then another 3 posts and then it's a sponsored post. And again, of course, it's changing from social media to recommended media. So it's going to end up a bit like YouTube and TikTok, where because you've looked at one thing, it's going to then keep showing you different things to it, and not the things that you actually want to see, which is posts from the businesses and your friends and family that you like. So you have to learn about the hacks and the different things that are available. I don't even know whether it still works now. One of the hacks used to be that you create a list, separate lists, that you could access. You could create a list, so like friends and family, or you could create a list which was your like for me, say my connections to my academy, a list to connections of my holistics, and a list of connections to my clients and wherever in the apothecary, and I could make those of different friends lists and then just pop in there and see those timelines. I don't even know whether that works now. It's been a long while since I've looked at that. Have I lost faith in social media and Facebook as a free platform to use for my marketing? No, I haven't lost faith. I still use it. Probably not as much as I used to. Like I said, I still class myself as an addict. And I could spend my first 2 hours in the morning scrolling through the social media, going through the timeline. that's with my, you know, cup of coffee and whatever. That's how I do. It's where I get a lot of ideas from, where I get a lot of connections from. And again, that's where it comes down to what you're using social media for. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, what are you using it for? I do like what social media was originally created for, which was, you know, making connections, being socializing. That's what I've always liked Facebook for, and social media for. It's social, it's socializing, it's how you make friends, it's how you make connections. And to me, that's a big part of it. I now think of social media as my online networking, and my offline networking is friends, family, and businesses. Um, Again, when I know I've done it before, when I used to run workshops and classes on networking, the therapists used to go, shh, you know, God, no, networking's an evil word, don't like it, because I'm there in a group of with people, with you know, people that are all pitching their business, and we've got to talk about our business for a minute, and I'm in a room with total strangers, and whoa, that's just like school. When you started school, you were in a classroom of unknowns, and you became friends. You know, when your client walks through the door, they're an unknown, and you sort of build that relationship. And that's what I think social media is all about, is those connections. I have more social media friends now than I have, and this sounds really sad, but then I have real friends. I've still got friends from when I was living back in South Wales. And I guess how I keep in contact with them when I can't get back very often. It's how I keep in contact is through social media. So I can chat with them, email them, message them, find out how they are, etc. That's how how I can use social media. But I probably now have more social media friends and colleagues than I do real friends. That sounds daft. But my social media friends have become friends. I can remember chatting to people, just scrolling through and chatting to therapists on Twitter. This is before Facebook really took off. And I was chatting to therapists on Twitter, and a couple of those friends took to, meeting offline. I've had one in Worthing, one up in Crawley, and one up over in Bathway, that we become friends. There's many more now that I've met through social media that have become Academy members, that have been speakers for my podcast, that I have, I've met, we've chatted to online. I've had as speakers in my FHT Worthing groups. And one of the reasons why I'm mentioning this today is you've already seen a post of mine today, where I went out yesterday and met up with another therapist that I hadn't seen for about 15 years. We met once at a corporate well-being event. We were therapists there. A couple of us went out and had something to eat before we all went home at the end of the sessions. And we sat and we chatted and we just clicked. Now, all we did then was just connect on social media and liked and commented on one another's posts. Not much was discussed, but we just supported one another. Then I suddenly thought, oh, she'd be great for a podcast to find out about legalities of lotions and potions, etc., which we did. And then we decided that we'd love to meet up again. It's been such a long time. Let's meet up again and have a coffee. And as we sat and did that yesterday, all of a sudden, lots of ideas were coming into the both of us of how we could work together next year. Now, I haven't done that since pre-pandemic. Most people I've met for coffee and cake has been therapists that have been wanting help with their business. I haven't sat and chatted with somebody like that, as I said, pre-pandemic. And it was so lovely to do that. And because I was so chilled out and relaxed, just interested in chatting, all the ideas started to flow. So, we've got some ideas now to work with next year. And this is what intrigues me, because, again, with therapist local support groups, people are a bit nervous about coming. I'm a bit nervous about coming along, and I sort of like, I know we've got to work on it in trying to attract people, but I'm like still asking, but why? Yep, stepping out of comfort zone, but we're all like-minded people. We're all interested in therapies in one shape or form. We're all interested in the same thing. All we're doing is just getting together for a cup of coffee, listening to a speaker and having a chat afterwards. Yes, it is networking. You can look at that as networking. But if I say to a therapist, oh, well, come to my, come to my FHT, come to my support group, and we're going to do some networking, wouldn't even mark it in the diary. But if I said, I'm just getting some therapists together where we could chat and have coffee and cake and have a chat afterwards, I'd get some interest. But it's exactly the same thing as networking. You can network with somebody in the middle of the street. You can network with somebody in a queue. Networking is not all about promoting your business. Networking is building relationships, and that's what social media is. There's right ways and the wrong ways about using social media, and I think probably that's why I'm not getting my ass out with it so much, because I'm using it. I know it's for free. I'm grateful for that free platform, so that I can then make the connections, and I can build relationships with people, and that they can then later book with me or buy with me or whatever they want to do. They can do that later on. Doesn't have to be that day, doesn't have to be that week, that month. It can be a couple of years down the line. But we're building relationships. Now, I've talked to other therapists. They don't know what to say, don't know what to do on there. They also have a different idea. Another therapist I talked to, that all they want to do is talk about their therapy. And I'm like, well, aren't you doing that, building that know, like and trust? Aren't you making those connections? No, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that frivolity that she calls it, whether you're doing the welcome of the month or you're having a bit of fun or sharing a bit of stuff. No, I want it all about the therapy. And it's like, fine, but if you weren't happy to stick that way, if you're not getting the reach, if you're not getting the bookings, if you're getting all these comments, etc., that's not, and you're not getting what you want from it, you're either going to have to readjust to how you're using your Facebook and your social media, or find a different marketing platform. There is no point, and this is what it comes down to it. People again think that they have to be there because it's social media. If it really gives you an ache, if it's really a chore and you really don't want to do it, don't do it. But find another marketing pillar that can take its place. Find another marketing pillar that is much happier for you to use, to do. If what we always say is not that social media is not the be all and the end all. It is just one of your marketing pillars that funnels people down to your email, to your newsletter, to your list, to your website. That's what you're feeding them down, is to making more of a connection with you. It doesn't matter if they're seeing you on social media or not, then you've got their details. So think about what it is that you've got there with your agenda for using social media. Mine now it's the little bit is there for making the contacts with friends to see how they are. But my thing is now, my main use for social media is building relationships, is making connections, it's talking to people where I can have a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh and a joke, share different things, and get to know one another, share my expertise. Yes, in this group, from my page, they come into this group, and you can find out more information. But that's how I use social media now, is to create that relationship. What you can do is, again, if they connect with you, is to create maybe like a WhatsApp group that you want to connect with people that way. That once they've booked you for a treatment, you then want to put them in a WhatsApp group and just share odd things in there. It might be that you're on social media and you really don't like this everyone tag that goes on at the moment. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me. I've read dozens and dozens of posts where people have been asking about the everybody tag, and they said, oh well, I've left groups that have shared that. If somebody is posting every post with the everybody tag, yes, find that infuriating, and I've only used it once in here. But I'm going to use it again in the future if there's something really important that I want to share. If there's something really important that everybody that's in the group needs to be, needs to know. If you are in that group, you're in that group for a specific reason. It's either you're paying as part of your membership package that you're receiving that information, so you want to see all what's going on, so the information needs to get through to you, or you're in there because you want to keep up to date or find out what's going on or get the information or help and support one another, etc., etc. You're in that group for a reason. If you can think of, right, I'm not going in that group anymore because they've used the everybody tag, then you're not, then there's no point you being in that group in the first place. I mean, just think of what you are and why you are in these groups, why you follow these pages. Try to get a bit of understanding, or outsource it or bin it. It's my simple and blunt answer to this now. But I love it for the connections. I love it because a stranger can suddenly ask you for a friend request. You can go and have a look and see, who they are, what they're doing, what the connections are, do a little bit of a research and find out a bit about them, connect with them. They may then just suddenly message you and say, oh, I've got just something for you. Well, that's it. You then bin it, delete, block, and don't ever go again. They might not say anything to you, but they might just quietly click on and like something or comment on something, and you just never know where that path's going to take you. Like yesterday, it was just a meet up for tea and coffee, for coffee and cake and whatever. The end of 2 hours of chatting, and time flew by with a gorgeous view, with stuff we're going to work together with for 2023. So it's exciting. You just never know where that connections, collaborations, and where that path of networking is going to take you. So don't just go, no, I don't network. No, I don't take, requests from strangers. I don't make friends with strangers, because you just never know where this is going to lead. Always think of building that know, like, trust, and see, where that path will take you. So that's me this week. Let me know if you're watching on replay. Let me know what you think about networking. Is it something that you would do? Is it something that you just think, no, not for me? Love to know your thoughts. Do you network and not realise you're doing it? Could be, as easy as that. That you didn't think of, oh gosh, that's also networking. Doesn't always have to be standing in a circle giving it your 1 minute pitch. Networking in very many different ways, on and offline. But for now, that's for me. That's my tips for today. Gone on a bit longer today. But that's me for today, talking about connections, collaborations, and networking, and how you can bring this into your social media as well, and getting to know your agenda of using social media. But that's me. Come in and comment if you've got something you'd love to share on this on Tips Tuesday, and I will catch up with you again soon. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.